Welcome back, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer 1745 here with my continuing playthrough of Hearts of Iron 4. Okay, we're crushing, or hopefully crushing here, as it looks like Poland. No, they have not penetrated back into us. We've just not successfully taken this little pocket here yet. And this is our AI battle, based on my battle plans. You can see the action going on here. For the naval operations here in the central Mediterranean. Look here, taking out their convoys. Looks like we've had a few losses. No, there's just two engaged in the battle is all. Two are not in the battle. It's the convoys here. What they're calling the Battle of Malta, but just more submarine action. And see here again, we're sinking some convoys there in the Red Sea. Just wanted to show other things that are going on. Like I said, the only thing I've done so far is move these troops up here that I'm going to add to the fight for Danzig. Otherwise, all of this has been hands-off after I've drawn these battle plans, letting the AI fight it, shooting down the bombers. Okay, here we go. Fall of Warsaw. German forces advancing in Poland have succeeded in capturing Warsaw. Sporadic fighting continues in Prague. That's one of the other Polish cities, I believe. Not Prague, the city. A few other districts, but organized resistance in the city seems to have ceased. The Polish government reportedly evacuated the city as the first German units entered Warsaw suburbs. Their present location is unknown. Fighting continues against the German invaders continues in other parts of the country. A little awkward, but okay, good. Deutschland, Sig, and Holland. Okay. Stand up. German. Once you get the notification. See, I wish whenever you get these notifications, because of my current settings, it will pause on notifications, which is what I want, both because I as a person want to read it, and I also, for the entertainment value here, want to read the stories. Just this is the standard ace pilot promoted. But once you click acknowledge, it starts playing again, and I don't like that. Because if I'm already paused, and have to join our faction, and we've secured more regions to get more factories. Let's look at our... No, this is what I want. Okay, we're using up more than we're making, but we have a stockpile on everything except fighters. We need more fighters. So that tells me what I want to make. I'm going to start a whole new production line of fighters. And in fact, let's... But... I want to... Here, actually. Okay, this hurts reliability and hurts agility, but if we add that, air attack, max speed down a little bit. Reliability's hurt, but air attack is improved. Max speed and agility is maintained. So we're going to go with that for our B variant. Which is what we want to be. Okay, so we're going to start, it's going to start slowly. I'm not yet going to convert these other fighters over to the B variant because we'll lose efficiency. But we will increase a few other production items here. Go. Now, let's see what we can trade. We are producing some more, both civil factories and very shortly some more synthetic resources. But who can we trade with? We can get one more fuel out of Romania. And that should get us nearly to there. And now, while we still can, we're going to trade with the Netherlands. To help out. As one of the posters was wondering as whether it's really necessary to to build synthetic factories. I think it is in the long run. It's just when I started out, I wanted to expand both the civil economy and the okay, we basically failed in our attacks on Danzig there. So far, other than putting those 3 divisions into that attack, I have not touched the attack on Poland here, letting the AI handle my battle plans. Send them back in after. Maybe we don't need to get Danzig. Okay, military factories. More, we've taken some more. Increase our fighter production. Doing here. Okay, alright. Now is our air battle in the west. Okay, support weapons. That is excellent. So now we have 1940 support weapons. I think we will move our engineering equipment. Okay, we have a few air wings that no missions are assigned. Okay, these. We're going to assign these guys up here. And bombers, we're leaving them up front. And those guys are also going to leave unassigned at the moment. So with those as well. Now these guys we're going to assign up to here. We have been facing a few naval invasions here. And another Federation beloved. Okay, looks like a lot of this is stalled out here. So let's see if I can help it out. Send everybody in. No. I want you to stay there. I want you to attack there. Okay, well. My plans had been that we would have taken Danzig by now, but that hasn't happened. Where is... Okay, well... See, if we had taken Danzig by now, I think Poland would have surrendered. It would have met the surrender conditions. But obviously it hasn't. Improved artillery brigade, which is very good. Now that will allow us to develop rockets. Support that attack. I think it's going to be enough there now. Yes, I'm interfering more with it. And another pilot is promoted. Most excellent. Now they're moving into Prussia heavily. they're going to get colony expert, which is not very good at all. AI, you should be on this stuff. Check out these cavalry. See, these guys are just sitting here. Okay, well. Why aren't you guys attacking? There we go. Why don't you just come in and occupy this? And you guys go here. I should crush these pockets, people. Poland has capitulated. Okay. We got enough victory provinces out here that forced them to capitulate, so yay. The war, of course, isn't over, just the battle there is. Okay, now we are having a naval battle here between some submarines and ships. Now, don't we have... a lot of units striking at those ships? Air units particularly. Okay, we've achieved... captured more dockyards. That is good. And we're going to see, where's light cruiser? Let's start production on a light cruiser. There we go. Now we have a few areas in occupied Poland that are going to be trouble. Now, deal with that, looks like most of my garrison divisions are still training up, but I don't care really how well trained my garrison units are, because they aren't my main combat forces. So I'm pulling the ones that are in the production group queue now. I'm going to send some of them just generally east. This one. Ones that have no organization. Because we're going to use them as occupation forces. Poland. Now just what areas are most rebellious will change shortly as I shift forces west. So I just want to get some into the theater here. Okay, now the selected. We're gonna walk them, I think. And yeah, the East Prussian forces as well. And we're going to click here, select all of my panzer armies. And shift them west as well. And where are my bases? Here we are. To that one, but obviously one in Poznan, of course, he's not be there yet. Okay. Let's see, these fighters. We're going to, yeah, get rid of these, get rid of these. See, mostly to the old fighters there now. Traditional losses. So they're not even reinforcing, and the fighter forces are going to go back to the fighters there that are going to go back to the pool. Yeah, I probably should get rid of this weapon as well. Our 19 ships, come on, Mayflower. We should be sinking some of those guys. Another ace pilot promoted. Oh, and how are we doing for... Okay, just infrastructure needing to be rebuilt. Alright, well, let's see here. Build some more military factories and some more synthetic fuel factories. And we're going to shift some of these guys, especially the ones that need the most work, take the longest, down to the bottom. Get some rebuilt. Italians, have they entered the war already? Sometimes they will just sort of on their own. Sometimes they seem to wait to be called. No, they're not at war yet, but what are they doing up here then? SR'd themselves up here. Nice of you, but... How are we doing for our national focus around Maginot fairly soon? And we also want to send these... select all. And yes, I'm abandoning the eastern part of Poland. Pretty soon we're going to have an event pop up. Seems like we're shooting down most of their bombers. We're maintaining... Oh, unfilled import request. Okay, we have to adjust that. Now we've lost about half of our fighters over here. Romania, okay. We're going to reduce this by 1. And we're going to increase this by 1. Actually, let's increase it by 2. Round Maginot and improve air darkness. Now we're going to do Operation Western. Boom. So I know I'm butchering it. I'm sure. Okay, we have available war goals against the Benelux countries. The thing I hate about doing that is, of course, my main rubber supply is coming from the Netherlands. I don't really want to lose that, but that's just sort of the way that's going to go here. I definitely like to hear your opinions. I know a few of you have already given them. I'm glad of that, but hear your opinions of Hearts of Iron 4 now that you've been playing it some, watching me and others, I'm sure, play it as well. So I'm going to be working on Third Reich Events, which is mainly going to be an event-oriented mod, but still, okay, Japan has now declared war. This is what I don't like about this. Japan has now declared war on the Netherlands. That did not happen, and okay, you may be, well, who cares? That did not happen until basically this version of the map. Until December 1941. And so, like I say, you may not care about that, and obviously the Paradox people don't care that much about it, because yes, they're aware of that, and I know they are. That their sort of viewpoint is that Japan Japan declared war because it wants the resources down there. Yeah, okay, I get that point, but Japan wouldn't have declared war now because France has Indochina, Britain has Malaya and Borneo here, as well as Singapore. They have a very strong fleets. Both of them are very strong, so there's 2 strong fleets. And right now they're sitting pretty. They're sitting on the Maginot Line. Things are going well. Their buddy the Dutch are also going well. They're not haven't been attacked. And in World War I, they were able to get attacked through Belgium without going into the Netherlands. And if I'm going to say, yes, this series I'm going to do the historical thing and take out the Netherlands, but the AI doesn't know that. I could leave them at peace. They're not in the Axis yet, so I could leave them at peace. So you have the Dutch forces are able to reinforce to go down there. You have the British Empire and everybody else there can move in there, and they have French, British, I mean literally cutting them off, as well as American possessions, cutting them off from any sort of trade deals. So it's entirely unrealistic. Again, I get the idea that this is sandbox, and I've been told by players, beta testers, and the developers that this is a more sandbox game. Yeah. well, why the hell hasn't the United States invaded Canada? It's sandbox. Or hasn't Mexico decided they want Guatemala or something? This is sandbox. Is this risk 1940s? Or is this and I know I'm on a monologue here, but political and military realities of World War II. So, sure, had I, at this time, let's say if Germany had started the war in 1939 and have crushed France and taken the European part of the Netherlands and taken Poland, and Britain standing alone, and I'm sinking a lot of its ships, and all that kind of bad stuff is going on earlier, then yes, at that point, the conditions may be such that, yeah, Japan strikes earlier. So I'm not even that worried about the historical date, particularly if conditions have changed in the world. But when you have roughly, okay, we haven't invaded because we were still crushing Poland, and we hadn't done the little round Maginot button yet. So we haven't been ready for this. But this may be happening 3 months late or something, the invasion here. But otherwise, this is going fairly historical. What you will likely see very soon is Italy declaring war on Greece. Well, there's another problem with that. That didn't happen until, May 1941. What's important about that? Well, Britain was doing reasonably well in the Mediterranean because of supply limits, basically. Mussolini didn't feel like he could send in large amounts of his forces into Libya, pour in more of the Italian army, who changed the outcome because of British naval power as part of the sinking of the supply limitations, as well as how much you can supply in North Africa. So he thought, well, I have all my great military. Let me distract the Italian people and everybody else from a losing campaign in Libya into somewhere where we can win and crush some little minor power here. So they attacked Greece. And I do believe also they thought that enough of the Italian strategists that, hey, once you get down here, and if you're controlling Greece and controlling Crete, you can have more air bases flying out here, which, naval bomber types. The Italians liked a lot of that type of aircraft. And what are all these transports going on? Where are the Portuguese here? Don't understand that. But so they thought with that they could help close down British naval power with more bases for their air power. Because yes, you can, if Greece is neutral, you can bring your ships way out through the ocean, and you're not going to be able to strike at them as well. But controlling these territories, you'll cut that down. Plus, of course, it opens another supply lane. So they thought that this was going to be an easy victory. Well, it wasn't. And the big point is it delayed Barbarossa by 5 weeks. It delayed Germany by 5 weeks. So you lose, if you're trying to script a reasonably historical game. Either there is no reason for Italy to just haphazardly attack Greece right now or coming up very shortly, and there is and it doesn't fit the parameters of the world at the time, and it wouldn't have the effect of stalling out the invasion of Soviet Union for Germany or something. So it's not just the dates. The dates are a significant element of it, but it's also the conditions. So, I think it's perfectly reasonable, and I don't mean alt history, well, what if France is communist, or what if England is communist, or, really altish history. I'm just saying, well, okay, what if, okay, I'm continuing the monologue, I'm sorry, but here's a path that Hitler would have gotten the war he wanted. 1, take over Austria as he did. 2, get the Sudetenland as he did. Then leave Czechoslovakia alone. Continue to agitate, but basically leave it alone. Don't take the next thing. Then 3, agitate over the Danzig corridor, not just Danzig, but the Danzig corridor. So that, and then when the Poles don't back down, now you haven't taken the rest of Czechoslovakia. Britain and France have not guaranteed Polish integrity. So then when they don't back down, declare war on Poland. Britain and France will most likely stay out of it. You'll get your training war with Poland. You'll see what you need to do. Your army will become experienced. With a Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact. So you settle Poland. Then, in 1940 or so, do what they did for Czechoslovakia. At this point, no one's going to fight for Czechoslovakia because it'll be surrounded also all the way down here by Germany. It'll be senseless to try to fight a war at that point. And so 1941 or maybe even 1943, Hitler could have had his war with the Western Allies, Britain and France, and of course a few other minor countries. That is a very realistic, and I think would have happened. Unfortunately, he got greedy too fast in Czechoslovakia, which stiffened the Western Allies' resolve over Poland. But so we can do a very reasonable, not weirdish, well, what if Hitler was a communist, or what if Hitler was a nice guy who liked cats and not dogs, and thought Jews were just spiffy people? What if the world was some crazy alt thing? No, we're not talking about that. We're just talking about taking slightly different steps, but still Hitler being a Nazi, still Hitler being his egomaniacal self. I'm not in any way trying to say good or nice things. I'm just going along the idea of taking a slightly different tactical path than he did. And you could have easily started the war in 42 or 43 with Germany with a big navy and a lot of other things different. And if you do that as a reasonable sandbox thing, I think that's fine. But why the hell would, in 1940, if the world is still roughly at peace, or it's only Poland versus Germany, why would Italy just all of a sudden invade Greece? They wouldn't have. And Japan wouldn't all of a sudden go, hey, there's the Netherlands, let's take it. Because if everything else was at peace, this is now the Netherlands being attacked, not by a European power, not by a major local military power, but by a remote nation that did build up a big navy. But I will say at this point, Japan's industry was sort of a hollow tiger, if you will, meaning they had their fleet good, well built up, and it was very strong. So you Navy aficionados and whatnot, don't jump on me. It was good, but they didn't have the industry like the U.S. or even Britain to rapidly crank out more heavy warfare combatants at a rate that you're going to lose them for a sustained war against other industrial powers. You have to take all of that into consideration. Not just, could their navy go beat up on another navy? Absolutely, it did. It was great. But it just didn't have the industrial backing. Now, of course, we can also look at this and go, oh, why would they need the Netherlands? They've lost a lot of their industry and other resources here. That extra rubber down there isn't going to be that useful to them. And they're losing this war anyways. And I don't think right now the AI, because it's sort of been forced, it's a national focus, I believe, that inspired this, is that they would be even capable of getting any advantage, meaning taking any of these possessions. So it's just a another messed up thing for Japan to deal with. Okay, that's sort of the end of the rant that it turned into. Sorry if my purpose isn't to rant about everything all the time. I'm not the angry war gamer, but that just is a bit something that could easily be fixed, because they can easily reprogram the AI's path, because you can go in and look at one of the files that you as a player can go in, or basic modder can go in and change the path of the AI's choice for national focuses for each of the nations. At least the majors, you can go in and do that, because I went in, I pulled up the file, and one game I played through, and I picked all of the German national focuses as the AI would pick them, and just to see what dates they fired. And for Germany, the only thing that happened early, and very early, was the West Wall. Everything else was within 30 or 40 days of the historical. So they got that for Germany path very, very right. So if you're playing another nation, you're playing France, you're playing Britain, the national, and it just, okay, the wall shows up early, big deal. So it actually took them a lot longer to build it in stages. But the national focus trees and pushing through Austria and Czechoslovakia and Poland will follow along roughly all the historical dates. So they did a good job there. The developers aren't idiots. The developers are great guys. The developers know history better than most game company people, I believe, that know history. So this is not developers are bad. There's just a few things that they can look at and they haven't. Maybe in the next patch they will. And of course, I also checked on one of the World War Wednesdays with the guys that you can go in for a national focus, and you can put has to be, date greater than a particular date for you to start researching that national focus. So all they need to do is do that for what I believe future war on Greece here, excuse me, and the current war on the Netherlands, to do that as a minimum, to at least make sure it is not happening too early. Whether they should also act and do things like, because if right now, if Italy declares war on Greece, and it would never do so now because it's still facing what was thought to be the biggest, most strongest army in the world, the French army. As I've said, probably the best army designed to fight World War I was the French army at this time. Obviously, they ended up using the World War I style army in World War II, so they lost. But that was the perception is that it was this great superpower, the biggest at the time. They would not bother invading Greece if they thought they were facing a major invasion here from the land. I just don't see them doing that. I don't see them going after Yugoslavia. So any national focuses for Italy going to war with either Yugoslavia or Greece need to have a check to see, is France defeated yet? And similarly, for going into any of these parts of the world, you need to make sure that France is defeated for sure as well. That has to be a precondition for any of the national focuses to be started. So that's my advice to developers, players, modders, whatever. Thanks for watching. Thanks for liking the videos. Do appreciate it. Please post comments, questions, and if you have a disagreement with them, just be civil with me, and I'll love to hear why you think I'm wrong. See you next time.